Most people searching in Connecticut are searching in the wrong place. And if I were moving right now, there are 9 towns I would look at. Not the towns everybody's talking about, the towns that actually deliver. People are settling for less house for their money, and the whole time there are towns across the state in 4 different counties where the lifestyles are just as good. The numbers make more sense, and the people who live there would never leave. I'm going to show you 9 of those right now, starting with one that most buyers completely overlook, and it has one of the lowest property taxes in the entire state, Goshen, Connecticut. 16.7 mils. That's one of the lowest property tax rates in the entire state of Connecticut, and it belongs to Goshen, a small town in the northwest corner of Litchfield County that most buyers have never seriously considered. Every year you own a home, you're going to pay property tax. And in a state where mill rates routinely hit 30, 40, sometimes higher, 16.7 quietly changes the financial picture in a real and compounding way over time. But Goshen earns its place on the list for more than just the tax rate. You have Mohawk State Forest, which runs right through the area, over 4,000 acres of protected land with 15 miles of hiking trails, a mountaintop at 1,683 feet with views stretching into the Berkshires, and some of the most ecologically distinctive terrain in all of Litchfield County. And then there's the Goshen Fair, one of the oldest and largest agricultural fairs in all of Connecticut, drawing tens of thousands of people every Labor Day weekend. This is a town with an identity, rooted in the land, and the people are proud of it. Right now, there are only 7 single-family homes for sale in Goshen. Days on market has come down 45% year over year. Buyers who find this town are not deliberating for long. When the right home comes up here, it moves. The people buying in Goshen are not settling, they're choosing. Next up on this list is Morris, Connecticut. Morris is the town that people who really know Connecticut real estate have had on their radar for years. The year-to-date median sales price through March is a little over $1 million. Small Litchfield County town, mill rate under 20, and buyers are transacting in 7 figures. A lot of this is due to the fact that it has the largest natural lake in all of Connecticut. My favorite lake, Bantam. Bantam comes in at just under 1,000 acres. It spans parts of Morris, parts of Litchfield. It has the Bantam Lake Ski Club, which operates on the water and is the oldest continually operating water club in the entire United States. That is the kind of detail that tells you this community has been showing up for a long time. Buyers who come to Morris are not coming for a deal. They're coming because this is exactly where they want to be. There are 8 homes on the market currently. The mill rate is under 20. And for lakefront lifestyle in Litchfield County, the math is hard to argue with. Go see it in person. It will make sense immediately. Ask me where to stop for lunch or for dinner. We know all the areas that you need to see. Town number 3 is Woodbury, Connecticut, and Woodbury has an identity all to itself. It is the antique capital of Connecticut, and it is not a marketing title, it is a working title. Main Street Woodbury is one of the most distinctive commercial corridors in all of New England. There are antique dealers, galleries, design shops, restaurants tucked into historic buildings. People drive from Fairfield County to spend their weekends here. And then they get back in the car and wonder, why aren't we living there? The residential side backs it up. Historic colonial homes on real land, an equestrian community that runs deep, and a pace of life that feels intentional. Homes here are averaging 96 days on market. It's not a panic market. Buyers take their time because the homes are worth it. The average sales price through March of this year, $754,000, which tells you Significant, well-considered properties are the ones that are moving. 25 single-family homes are on the market currently. There are more options here currently than there has been recently. Mill rate is at 23.62. If you appreciate crafts, history, and a town with genuine point of view, Woodbury is right for you from the minute you drive down Main Street. Before I get into the next 6 towns, I want to make sure you are able to search what's available in every one of these towns that I'm talking about. So go to searchallcthomes.com and get set up on a search. You can save your favorites, and when you're ready to talk, the team at Dave Jones Realty is here to guide you. Next up, town number 4, Simsbury, Connecticut. Simsbury keeps showing up in the best places to live lists, and when you spend time there, you will understand why. The village center has walkability and charm that is rare in suburban Connecticut. Independent restaurants, real shops, and a historic feel that doesn't seem manufactured. And then a few minutes later, you're at the Talcott Mountain State Park, hiking the Hublin Tower, a 165-foot landmark built in 1914 that sits 1,000 feet above the Farmington Valley and has views stretching all the way to Long Island Sound on a clear day. This is not a generic state park. This is a Connecticut experience. The market here is telling us something right now. The year-to-date median prices are up 17% compared to this time last year, and sellers are getting 105% of asking price. Homes are moving in 28 days. This is a town with real, sustained demand. The mill rate at 33 is honest trade-off. Most people who end up in Simsbury will tell you it's worth every dollar. It has top-rated schools, a town center you will actually use, nature right outside your door, and a commute to Hartford that is easy. If Hartford County is your target, Simsbury is where your conversation should start. Next up is number 5, and that is Granby. Granby doesn't get talked about enough. It sits at the very top of Hartford County, right against the Massachusetts border. In a way, that makes it feel almost off the map to buyers searching from the south. But if you find it, Granby has something most Connecticut towns have quietly lost: actual rural character that's not performative. This is not a suburb trying to feel like the country. This is the country. The McLean Game Refuge anchors the town's identity. 4,400 acres of forest, fields, streams, set aside in 1932 by former Governor and Senator George McLean, with the specific instructions that it should remain a place where people can find peace in mind and body. That language is in his actual will. There's over 20 miles of trails. It's free to the public year-round. It's a kind of resource that towns spend generations trying to create and almost never do. Days on market dropped from 66 down to just 26 year over year. That's a 61% reduction. Buyers who find Granby are not hesitating. The median home price in March is $452,000. Sellers are getting over asking price. The window where the lifestyle is exceptional and the pricing still makes sense is open right now, but it's not going to stay open. Next up is town number 6, and that is Oxford, Connecticut. Oxford is having a moment, and the data is not subtle about it. Year-to-date closed sales are up 91%. Pending sales, homes under contract right now, are up 125%. That's not a rounding error. Something is happening in Oxford. Buyers are paying attention and they are reacting. Part of what makes Oxford compelling is its position. It gives you access to New Haven County and the Naugatuck Valley without being swallowed by either of them. Route 8 is right there. The mill rate is 20 mills and is one of the most favorable in all of New Haven County. You have the Woodbury-Oxford Airport located in town. It carries the highest concentration of general aviation activities of any airport in the state. That is a specific piece of infrastructure that tells you some character about Oxford. Homes are moving in just 43 days, and buyers coming in right at asking price. Fair market, not a frenzy. If you want value, space, and a low mill rate, Oxford is where the smart money is going right now. Town number 7 is close to my heart. That is Prospect. Prospect is the most affordable town on the list, and I want to be clear about what that means. Prospect is a tight, well-kept small town on the ridge between Cheshire and Naugatuck with a community identity for people who live here, and we're proud of it. The median home price through March is $390,000 in a state where the overall median just crossed $425,000. That's real value. There are currently 13 single-family homes on the market. When something comes up here that's priced right, it moves. Pending sales are up year over year. Buyers are coming in slightly above asking price, and the market is active without being irrational. You have real lots, good bones, and housing stock, access to Route 68, Route 69 for commuters, proximity to Cheshire without Cheshire prices. If you're a first-time buyer or looking into these areas, there's even a program for buying here called a USDA loan. Put Prospect on your list. Number 8 is Monroe. Monroe is the last honest Fairfield County town, and I mean that as high praise. This is a place that has held on to its residential character while everything around it has gotten more expensive, more dense, more competitive. You can still buy a 4-bedroom colonial on an acre in Monroe at a price that would be laughable in Westport or Weston, and you're still in Fairfield County. The access, the infrastructure, the school system tier that this county is known for. Pending sales in March were up 75% compared to the same period last year. Buyers are finding Monroe, some because they've been priced out of all the other towns south, many because they got here and then they realized there's actually value here. Median prices through March are just over $700,000. That buys you a genuinely different home in Monroe than it does in Fairfield or Trumbull for the same number. The mill rate is 28.67. 24 homes are currently on the market. You have real options. It's not a feeding frenzy. If Fairfield County is where you want to be and you want to feel like you're living in Connecticut rather than a suburb of New York, Monroe is the town I would be walking on a Thursday afternoon just to get a feel for it. Because once you do, the decision becomes easier. Town number 9 is Newtown, also in Fairfield County. Newtown earns its place on this list not just with data, but with character. In the middle of Main Street intersection, the borough of Newtown stands a 100-foot flagpole that has been there since 1876. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places with a flag visible from blocks away. It sounds like a small thing, but it's not a small thing. It tells you everything you need to know about this community, the relationship it has with its own identity. Year-to-date median prices are up 23% compared to last year. Sellers are getting 101% of list price, and Newtown has 58 single-family homes on the market currently, the most of any town on this list. If you've been frustrated in markets where you can't schedule a showing because homes go too fast, Newtown might give you a little more time to be a buyer instead of a bidder. The mill rate is 28.74. There's easy access to I-84, super close to Danbury for the commuter rail, great schools, an awesome quality of life that outperforms the price point compared to the coastal towns. If I were moving to Fairfield County in 2026, Newtown is one of the towns I would seriously look at. And those 58 homes on the market mean you have a shot. Here's what I want you to take away from this. 9 towns, none of them are compromises. That is the narrative I want to push back on. The idea that choosing a town outside of the famous lists means you settled, that's not what's happening in Goshen or Oxford or Newtown. What's happening is the buyers are getting smarter. They're looking at mill rate, they're looking at lifestyle, they're looking at what their money actually buys, and they're finding a place that delivers way past the headlines. These are markets that buyers are doing their homework and are winning in right now. Which one of these 9 towns surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. I read every one, and it tells me exactly what to do next. I'm putting out Connecticut town content throughout 2026, and it's all built on current data. When you're ready to search, go to searchallcthomes.com. Every active listing in every county is there. And if you want to have a real conversation about where your money goes the furthest in this market, call my team at Dave Jones Realty. My number's below. We work with buyers and sellers across all the counties. It's what we do.